Well, good morning, everybody. Greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton. I want to thank you all for tuning in today for Lions Talk Live. And you know what? Some of you may be out there, you may be feeling a little down, a little sad because, there's no Lions football this Sunday, but that's okay. Something maybe to consider, something most of us haven't experienced in forever, is that now you get to play the role of cheering against teams that affect the Detroit Lions. As you probably gotten from the thumbnail today, hey, that's what we're going to talk about today, and I'm sure we'll talk about 50 billion other things. But hey, you've got a reason to be, you got a reason to not go out and rake the leaves or whatever else you got planned for Sunday. You've got a reason to sit glued to your chair, whatever you're going to do, and sit there and cheer against teams that might contest the Lions for the number 1 or number 2 seed or whatever else you got in mind. So before we get into the chat and everybody else, of course, you guys know I got bills to pay, blah, 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 just like everybody else. So in case you're not aware, when I'm not on YouTube or doing one of my other jobs, I am a realtor. So with that being said, if you are considering buying or selling property, either now or in the foreseeable future, say somewhere in the next 10 years or whatever, go ahead and give me a call. Shoot me a text, 269-998-2384. Let me see if I can put over 30 years of real estate employment to your benefit. See if I can save you some money on that purchase or that sale. Give me a call, 269-998-2384. All right, so with that being said, if you're new to the Lions Talk Live, hit that sub button if you got a free moment. Maybe the thumbs up button, the like button. I'm trying to get to 4,200, maybe 4,300 by the time Lions take the field next against the Chargers. All right, now that we got all that busy stuff out of the way, I see that the chat is definitely moving this morning. So let's get over to it. Drake, what do you got? Greetings and salutations, all. Rooting guide was a great idea for a weekend of no Lions. Thanks for that, man. And yeah, when you got the weekend off from the Lions, I get we all kind of get in the habit of doing this or that, sitting there watching the team just becomes part of your routine. And now that you don't quite have the game, we got to play the game inside of the game. So I'm sure we all are definitely aware in the last couple decades. When we get to this point in the season, most of us are talking about the draft or free agency. That's really where the fan base's mind is. So something we do less is actually root against this team or that team to help the Lions in their chances to either win the division or secure the number 1 seed in all the playoffs. So what do we got? Lions fan number 1. Good morning, all, to the Super Bowl and beyond. And that's part of the rooting guide, right? What is there really a way to get everything to go through Ford Field, which obviously is going to help our situation here in getting to the promised land? Jess, all right, you got a bit of a rooting guide. It sounds like you're hoping for the Falcons to win. Same with Saints, Rams, Ravens, and Cowboys. I think I'd have to check my sheet here, but I think that pretty much lines up the way I was kind of going with it. But, we'll all talk about it. And you guys throw in your thoughts, too, of course. Let me know what you're thinking. Who you rooting for or who you rooting against? All right, Dave, what do you got? Greetings and salutations, everyone. Same to you, Dave. Phil, greetings and salutations, crew. Same to you, Phil. Good to see you up here and after it this morning. Give it a thumbs up. Yeah, if you guys got a free second, you're not doing anything while you're listening, hey, just go ahead and scroll down and hit that thumbs up button. Really helps the channel out. Sorry, I'm trying to scroll through some messages here. Work-related stuff, sorry. I'm going to try not to be too behind schedule things. All right, Clark Griswold. All right. Hey, made a live show. Mention me, Coach Dan. All right, Clark, I just did it. Hey, thanks for making the morning show. Done, Clark. All right. All right, what do we got? Dunfield, excuse me. Darnell, good morning, Coach. Can we give a shout out to Penei Sewell? He did a great job blocking Max Crosby. You're not wrong there, man. He really did. And it's hard to believe that Penei Sewell's only 23 years old. It seems like he's been here a minute. But then you do have to go back and say when he entered the NFL draft, he was 19. When the Lions took him, I think he was about ready to turn 20. So think about it. If he plays until he's 33, 35, how long he will have been a Detroit Lion, assuming that they keep him that entire time. But yes. Phil, greetings and salutations, Clark. I like this one. Zach Morris. Whew. I made it in time to be. Saved by the Bell alarm clock. Da-da-da. I see what you did there. That was good. All right. We got some people being inventive this morning. Phil, hey, Daryl. There we go. Phil, Zach, greetings and salutations. Ryan's Mountain Dew is the most important meal of the day. I've been preaching this since I think the first time I started coaching back in 91 that, hey, you got kids getting into schools or whatever, you need to wake them up a little bit. You need to make sure they're not falling asleep during classes. Or if you're, out of school and you're working, you got to be up and ready for the day. Never miss an opportunity, right? All right, Big Eddie, I'm about to need one. I'm assuming you mean Mountain Dew, and yeah, I've got about 50 minutes. I'm going to get mine. Phil, half diet, full strength. There you go. All right, coffee is on here. All right, I've tried coffee lots of times, man. It doesn't stick for me, man. I just something about it. So I stick with the do, but you got to go with what works for you. See, do you? There you go. All right, Doug, what do you got? Do for the crew. That's a good one. I kind of like that. That's catchy. All right, Phil, greetings, salutations, Doug. We need a 2-hour show. Well, we'd probably have to make sure that I had my do beforehand and then during. Don't know if I'd be able to wait 2 hours in the morning. All right, Phil, Laporta is such a good kid. Yeah, I heard about his interview, although I didn't really get to see it with, Long, the guy that used to play in the NFL, Howie's son. And it sounds like it went pretty well. Sounds like he did a real good job on there. Now, when you talk about his play on the field, there's no debating that. He run blocks, at a high level, especially for a rookie or somebody who's only, 8 games into their NFL career. And then you look at his, route concepts, how he's able to get in and out of breaks and route trees. He's going to be one of the NFL's better tight ends for the foreseeable future. JP, what do you got? Good morning, Lions fans and Coach Dan. Good morning to you. Hopefully you're having a great one. Phil, Coach Dan. Yes. Yep. All right. Bergs, good morning, Duke crew, and the man, the myth, the legend. I won't go that far, man, but hey, I think I'm definitely known either in this community or some other ones as the Mountain Dew man. So, Phil, where's the whiteboard, Coach? I do have actually one in here. I'd have to figure out a way to kind of get it over to there. Maybe that's something I can do for tomorrow this weekend is just change the layout of the cameras so I can actually start using the dry erase board. That's the thought there, Phil. Good one. All right, Don, greetings and salutations to you too. Yeah, hopefully you're having a good one, man. How's your day going? All right, Jennifer, hey, good morning. One Nation, that's right. Hey, man, it's just a great time to be a Lions fan, isn't it? I mean, so the more we get away from the trade deadline, let's talk about it. Does Brad Holmes just have a ton of confidence in the guys that he's brought in? Him and this regime are developing from the coaching staff to front office, whatever it may be. Are they saying, hey, Pascal, this guy's going to be okay. We don't need to go out and get our pass rusher. Houston, when he comes back, he's going to help us. Maybe Broderick Martin. Maybe that's part of the reason they didn't go after more things. And by doing that, think about this. How much more draft capital do you have to use come, next year in the spring for the draft? So I've said on here lots of times that I think the Lions should go all in on this season to, because you're going to have a phenomenal chance at getting the number 1 seed, or at the least probably one of the top 3 seeds in the NFC, unless something just catastrophic happens. So with that also being said, can raise your hand if you remember the last time the Lions were in the Super Bowl. I'm going to assume not too many people are putting their hands up. I get the NFL championships, back in the 50s and stuff like that. But let's also be fair, a lot of us aren't around for that. So with that being said, the opposite side of that thought is that the Lions are trying to build something that's sustainable. Like we've talked about, they're trying to mirror the Ravens, the Steelers, and a few other franchises that are pretty consistently, at least, always in the playoffs or right there in the conversation, and occasionally make pushes into the Super Bowl. So, something for us all to consider. Phil, hey, Phil is buying the morning Mountain Dew. Look at that, man. Might even be able to put in a meat stick there. I like that. Thank you very much, man. I owe you one. So thanks very much for that, brother. All right, Jennifer, I love being a Detroit Lions fan, and I love your morning show. Hey, thanks for that, man. Thanks for that, Jennifer, very much. Love having you here. So keep throwing comments in there. Keep coming at me. All right, Alan, what do you got? Morning Dew crew. If you have any other social media we can follow, I've got a Facebook, I've got a Twitter that I Man, I used to use that thing in like the early 2000s and 2010s for stocks. Like if I was making a trade, I'd put it up there for people, but I don't really use it a ton anymore. I bet you probably in the last 3 years, maybe I'm wrong, but maybe in the last 3 years, I probably put like 5 or 10 tweets up there. But yeah, I think if you go into the YouTube stuff for the page, my Facebook's on there. I do know brother Ken reached out to me on Facebook. Yeah, it was yesterday and chatted, real briefly, but sent me a couple Lions articles and said, "Hey, for your consideration." And I thought that was pretty slick, man. So you can check me out there. I have thought about starting a stock/real estate YouTube channel for anybody who wants to learn about becoming a day trader or a realtor. If you want, you can look it up. Man, I can't even tell you off the top of my noggin what it's called. I want to say it's well, I guess let me look it up. I don't really know offhand. I know I went with Realtor Man Dan for a moment, but then I switched it to something else, and just because I was going to include real estate and stocks. So, all right, real estate and stocks with survey says full name is real estate and stocks. Oh, come on, man. Just show it to me. View my channel. All right. Real estate and stocks with Dan Thornton. So if you guys want, head on over there. I don't have any videos really up there. There's some just kind of hokey ones up there right now. So maybe this weekend while I'm rooting, I'll make some more videos for you guys or something. All right, getting back to the stream because that's too much about that stuff. All right, Phil, interesting. Lions can bring in local guys who have been lifelong Lions fans since they were kids. Yeah, I mean, I think the Lions are trying to make a bigger push in social media than they probably have in a long time. And I think that's probably a smart move from them just because more and more people like you guys, you can see here, we're all here on YouTube watching, and, maybe you can watch on Twitch or something like that. But I do think it's a way that the Lions need to keep approaching stuff and keep evolving the fan base. All right. Let's see. What do you got? And you got any other brothers? Okay. Phil, what do we got? Interesting. No, I think it just did that one. All right, Jennifer. It's all good that you guys love Mountain Dew. That's the one pop I hate. Yeah. But to be fair, Jennifer, it can't be for me. It can't be from a bottle or a can. It's got to be from a fountain, from Circle K, half diet, half regular. Otherwise, it's just too strong, man. Don, what do you got? And good morning to you. Here, Coach, here is a question. What player are you looking at to make a name after the buy? Ali McNeil, Hutch are given. I say Josh Pascal. Yeah, and I think Aaron Glenn, it was a couple days ago, man. He had a presser and he did some chanting and he mentioned specifically Pascal. So I do believe, to your point, Don, that they're starting to think more and more Pascal can do something. He's phenomenal against the run, and occasionally he gets after the passer. So I think if they keep evolving his pass rush skills, the dude's got a motor. He might not be blazing fast like some other guys, but he's got a motor. He's got strength. He's got leverage abilities. I mean, he's, like I said, he's phenomenal in the run game. He shoots gaps well, especially I've noticed like the B gap. He shoots that one particularly well in the offensive line blocking assignments. But yeah, if it's me, I'm going to go with him. And then I'm going to take a little bit of a gamble here. I'm going to say the last month to 6 weeks of the season, I am anticipating that Broderick Martin's presence is going to start being a little bit more noticeable. All right, Dr. D, for sure, Jennifer is from Michigan. Yeah, Michigan, yeah. I think most of us probably have, if you're a Lions fan, you've either from here or some sort of ties to Michigan. Otherwise, I'm not sure why you became a Lions fan over the last, several decades. Who knows, though? Ryan, I'm not 100% sure, but I think in the Super Bowl era, no Lions coaches ever coached again for another team. Jim Schwartz deserves another gig. Thoughts? There have been a few. Oh, gosh. I'm going to try to remember all the names. You're right, Ryan. There's not a ton of them, but there have been a few. I want to say, of all people, Morningweg got an offensive coordinator's job again afterwards. I can't remember the guy's name, the military guy. Left here. He was the head coach for a while. He worked as like defensive line coach for a few different teams. You're right, though. Jim Schwartz has probably been the most successful former Lions coach Caldwell has moved around some too since his departure from here. But there ain't been many, but there have been a few. And Jim Schwartz is a very good defensive coordinator. All right, Mr. Nico, what do you got, man? Good morning, coach and crew. What do you think we need to look forward to the Chargers? How dominant do you think we need to be going forward? I think you need to treat every game, especially coming out of the bye. I think you need to treat every game like it's an opportunity to get to the Super Bowl, because we come out of the bye, that's as physically fresh as you're going to be the rest of the year. So you need to really make that one count. Plus, you guys know you're catching the Chargers on a short week since they play Monday night the week before we play them. You need to come out and every trick book, in my opinion, every exotic blitz, flea flicker, whatever you want to throw, you need to throw it at them and you need to put them down, because after that you do have some favorable schedule. You don't have a ton of road games the second half of the season. So this is one of them. And again, you catch them on a short week when you're fresh and you've had 2 weeks to prepare for them. You need to come out and get them. As far as the end of the year record, I'm going to go with having somewhere between 11 and 13 wins. It's possible to get more than that, but I hate counting wins to begin with. All right, Dr. D, who cares are my thoughts, and it's all about us. Yeah, don't matter what anybody else wants. Don't matter what anybody else is going to try to do. Just focus on us. And my camera's trying to focus in. Hey, see what it did there? Focused in. Phil, what do you got? Let's push the show to 5K. Making moves for it. I mean, this channel is going, and you guys heard me mention it before, it's grown a heck of a lot more than I ever thought it would be. I thought, man, if I got 100 subs, 200 subs, then it got to 1,000, I was like, that's probably about it, right? But it keeps growing, and I'm thankful for it, man. This is fun. I look forward to this every day. All right, Scott, what do you got? Good morning, Mountain MC DT. Got it. All right. Can't wait to see our O with a healthy crew. Let's hope they all stay healthy while our D gets back. Grateful for the bye. Great timing. Yeah, and you're 100% right. I think as beat ups we were or are on the offensive line, yeah, this bye could not have come in a much better time. So we lucked out there for sure. And yeah, we could be catching fire when we come out. All right, Ken, what do you got? Good morning, Coach. Good morning to you. Trey, good morning, Coach Dan. I'm ready to see Laporta, Branch, Gibbs all take off in the second half of the season. And I think you're right, man. I think there'll be some other people too. You really think about our team, how young we are, just a lot of the growth that can still happen with some of these guys. And what we all get and want Jameson Williams to grow, but let's not forget, Laporta is a rookie, Branch is a rookie, Broderick Martin, we haven't even really seen yet, and he's a rookie. And then you look at some of the guys that only in their second or third years, there's still a ton of upside potential for this team. I don't think we've seen the best ball either on offense or defense this season yet. I think the best is still to come this year. Dr. D, good morning to you too. Phil, your girlfriend knows you like meat sticks. Gotcha, man. Yeah, she tries to talk me out of a lot of times I'll get like a Slim Jim or maybe a hot dog at the Circle K, and yeah, she's not always a fan of that. She is a workout warrior. She actually has a YouTube channel and such, and that's all she does, man. She works out and she's great at it. I get into running and stuff like that. She hates running. She lifts weights 2 hours a day. Dr. D, yeah, the jokes are coming on in. Ken, with Danny Dew. There you go. Your Lions Morning Talk with Danny Dew coming at you live. All right, T-Mac, morning all. About to head to work. Let's get it. Yeah, good morning to you too, and have a great day at work, man. All right, Brent, good morning. I hope we see more of B. Martin going forward. He seems to be demanding attention from the Raiders offensive line. Yeah, he did seem to be that. And again, I talked about it a little bit the last few days. You could tell the first couple snaps he got bullied around quite a bit, but you could see by number 6, 7, 8, somewhere in that range, he started actually doing some stuff to them, and they started having to pay attention. I really think the only reason why we haven't seen more of him is just some of the players in front of him. But at some point, his potential, if he keeps evolving and improving, he's going to supersede a couple of the guys in front of him, in my opinion. All right, Jennifer. Hey, Dan, what's up with that rookie? We just signed from Saginaw, the linebacker. And as far as I know right now, Jennifer, just depth purposes, they needed a little bit more help. They do have a couple of guys that are a little tweaked in the linebacker core, so they're probably looking to adjust it. Now, if there's something more to it, like they're going to move somebody from basically the linebacker to maybe a defensive end, then I guess we'll have to wait till after the bye to find that out. I don't know that, by the way. I'm just speculating. Dr. D, anyone says Pop is from Michigan. Only place that says that, not soda. Yeah. So soda pop. Yeah. There's a lot of times, man, I go down to Texas and I ask for a pop and they're all like, what? And soda pop. And they're like, ah. Phil waiting for J Mommy. Yeah. I get she's got a fan base. All right. Bay City, Michigan. Kalamazoo here. So I do go past Bay City quite often when I go up to the UP and some other spots too. I go over to Detroit, just I go across the state showing houses and selling properties. So, all right. Anyways, Bergs, no ties to Detroit at all. Born and raised in New York. Loved Barry Sanders. And honestly, when I was little, the Lions helmet sold me. Hey, yeah, the Lions had some pretty good teams in the 90s. Unfortunately, they couldn't get over the speed bump. There's just something that always seemed to derail their seasons. All right, Phil, Traverse City, Michigan. Yeah, nice area. Very nice area. Hydrate. You got to hydrate. Rochester Hills, Michigan. Yeah, okay. JP, MIA or KC? Who do I root for there? Oh, boy. You made me go to my notes here. Let me pull them up. Tell you what I'm thinking. And, of course, you guys can tell me what you guys are thinking, too. All right, so you wanted the... And why am I not seeing it? Miami or KC? I guess I'm going to go with Miami on that one. All right, Mr. Nico, how hard is day trading generally if you do trading for a living? If you do it for a living and you actually have been taught and not just to be a financial advisor, I got to say this to you guys. I think most financial advisors aren't very great. They probably don't really know the markets. They've just been taught to sell a product. They want you to buy something to invest your money and then lock it up for 3 to 5 to 10 years, and you can't pull it out without paying penalties. If they actually, very few of them, and again, it's just my opinion, I actually understand why a market's moving up or down. And if you guys, want, like I said, I'm going to try to develop the other channel. Feel free to stop in and I'll try to help you guys out with that. But I would say to anybody who's starting out, spend a year, maybe a little bit more in a simulator. Don't really use real money. But once you get good at it, it will alter your life. All right, Phil, what do you got? I played at Royal Oak Shrine High School. All right. Kansas Central here. So Dr. D, like going to Las Vegas, same idea. Yep. I would say that. Yeah. Both are geared to take your money. All right, Bergs. I've been abused for years from friends, family about being a Lions fan. Recently, the fan radio show did a segment on me from being a loyal Lions fan all these years. Never leaving the Lions was so cool. That's pretty slick, Bergs. That is pretty slick. Congrats to you, man. I think everybody gets it. If you've been a Lions fan, you had to wonder why a lot of different times. And if you were a parent who was raising your kid, I'd say in the last 30 years to be a Lions fan, you probably should have got charged with child abuse. But it is what it is, man. It's I've always been one and love it to death, man. All right, Dr. D, I got married at the Shrine of the Little Flower. Okay. Ed, good morning to you. Of the top 5 teams right now, who do you think will get 10 wins first? I say Detroit. I'd say you're probably right. Because you look at Philadelphia's schedule, you look at Kansas City's schedule, whoever you want to say, they all got a pretty difficult path. And, Detroit goes out and loses 4 games in a row. They're going to, you're going to say, hey, that schedule wasn't as easy as everybody told us it was. So coach would say, I would say any coach would come out and say, hey, don't count wins. You just play the next game, play the game you're currently in. But if I'm just being a journalist reporter, Ed, I agree with you. Detroit's probably got the best opportunity to reach 10 wins and then, 11, 12, 13. We'll see what shakes out, though. Phil grew up in Berkeley. Okay. Dr. D, I hope Gibbs takes off. I will stop complaining about a running back in the first. If he keeps playing anywhere near what he did against the Raiders, we're all going to revisit that pick and say Brad Holmes is a genius. He's playing chess, not checkers. He's not 2 steps ahead. He's 4 steps ahead of the rest of us. Because let's be fair, he took the 6th pick, sprinkled a little fairy dust on it, got somebody to trade back on it, and it looks like potentially because of that, he got 3 guys. I'm not going to include Campbell in this list, but 3 guys that just might be building blocks for the franchise for years to come. And that would be obviously Gibbs, Laporta. You could argue, I guess, that in a way that led to the Branch pickup and then Broderick Martin. So one of the best trades I think we could end up looking back in a year or two and saying the Lions ever made. All right, Max, did Pascal get hurt again? Not that I'm aware of. I think he's pretty healthy now, but maybe there's something I missed. All right, Phil, promote her channel. Whose channel is that? Let me know. I'll promote it. All right, JP, 6'5", 330. He is crazy huge, a mountain. Nice man from the interviews. I have heard too. Yeah, Martin is just massive, and I think when he gets it down, that pick's going to look pretty good. I'm happy with him taking his time and evolving and developing. Michael Jordan, we need to play every game like it's we need for the playoff picture. 2 and 6 instead of 6 and 2, so they stay hungry. Yeah, and I think there's a real potential for in the closing half of the season for us to only get a couple losses. Doesn't mean we can't get 3 or 4. You can lose every game you play. But I think if I had to go with the math and make a guess, I'm going to say we get 3 more losses at most the rest of the year. We'll see if I'm right or wrong, though. All right, Sean, we got. Good morning, Coach. Do you think Brad will go after Sue or Carlos Dunlap? Maybe if we get some injuries or something like that. I get Sue was awesome here. He was fan favorite, all that, but I just don't think we're going after him. And now if a couple of guys in that D-line get nicked up and are out, then that could change things. Same with Carlos. I mean, Carlos was a pretty good player. And now he's not quite what he used to be, but neither is Sue and most players as they evolve or age. 313, man, what do you got? Good morning, Dan. Has Norris Jenkins been brought up as an option for cornerback? To be fair, I don't think a ton, but maybe I'm wrong. I am surprised we did not add some quarterback depth. But the only thing I could say to that is Brad Holmes telling us that, hey, Gilmore, we're comfortable with him. He's showing us stuff in practice. Or, some of the other younger guys, or are they just saying, hey, we are going to go with these guys because we see where they're going to be or where we think they're going to be. That's the only thing I can say to you, 313, is I think they're going that way with their own guys. All right, what do we got? Who's next on the list? Did I miss something? Everything kind of just moved there. Give me a sec. We're going after Brett. All right, here we go. When is CJ expected to return? I would say probably middle of the latter part of December. That would be probably the realistic expectation. So we'll just say like the first time we played Minnesota, probably right around there, which the good part is, Brent, if he comes back then, the secondary gets deeper. Man, now you got some real questions as to who's one of the starting safeties. Do you move Brian Branch around or whatever? Plus, he's got a game or two to get his feet wet, I guess you could say, or him kind of get back in the flow of things before the playoffs. So it could be fairly good timing. And plus, the other part of that is look at all the experience and reps you've gotten, Tracy Walker and some of the other guys. So we'll see. But I do think he'll be back. All right, Scott. With I'm going to kill his name, Zambo, getting moved. That tells us we are Gibbs, Monty, Reynolds, running back room. Yep, Canadian Lions fan. Yeah. I say Reynolds, running back room. Yeah, Canadian Lions fan. I think they'll keep him, they'll get him put back onto the practice squad, but we'll see if I'm right there. But I don't think they're going to let him go, so to say. I think they're just moving him down to the practice squad. All right, Wilson, what do you got? Everyone relax. The greatest couch GM from Hawaii is finally in the chat. All right, aloha to you too, man. Hopefully you're having a good one. And hopefully work's not too bad for you today. Bergs, Lions are the best. Are the best. So passionate and love the team no matter what. Exactly, man. I mean, that's why we're all here, right? Because we're passionate fans. All right, Wilson. We only win 12 games. If we only win 12 games, I'll be upset. It's tough, man, because you never know about injuries, whatever. But they get anywhere between 12, 14 wins. I mean, they've done pretty well, and I think it's a potential that the Lions' culture and psyche may forever change, especially if they come out next year and the year after and kind of stay around this range. Yeah, everything changes. All right, Phil. I remember a player named Bill Simpson. Played at his wedding at Shrine guitar. All right. Hopefully it was a good one for you. All right. Mile marker, good morning. And thank God it's Friday. Good morning to you too. Pound the drums. You got to win the games. Absolutely. You play to win the games. Your girlfriend's channel, Jennifer Savage Fitness. Jennifer Savage Fitness. So if you guys want, if everybody goes over there and subscribes, she's going to be like, what the heck just happened? So she's working on it, man. She does a lot of work, and she's in a tough field because the fitness field, man. Tell me, she's part of the Body franchise or whatever, the workout program, and we go to some of their conventions. I've never seen so many fit people unless like the last time I was in Hollywood. It's just crazy. They're all there, and yeah, they take great pride in what they do. Hey, Jay Mommy, good morning to you. Do you think that with the Lions bringing up another linebacker, that Campbell will see more time at edge? Yeah, and that's kind of where I was going with that, Jay Mommy. So way to pick up on that. I do think they're going to move him around a lot more, and I think that's why they brought up the linebacker kid. I get he'll probably go to the practice squad, but I do think they're planning some changes for Campbell because, to be fair, when you watch him, I mean, I think we all understand his reps are going up, but he's good in pass coverage. He's a mountain of a dude. Mountain dude. But his pass rush skills, from when they first started having to go after the quarterback, I want to say the second game of the season against Seattle to where he is now, he's evolved. He's actually getting, I'd say, pretty close to 50-50. So what that means is half the time he's got one-on-one blocking assignments, he's going to win. They just need him to get up to like 60% win rate. And if he gets beyond that, then he's going to become a monster. So that could also be part of the reason why they didn't make a move for anybody, because the coaching staff, when they said, hey, we're fine, we're going to get Houston back and look at Campbell, he's evolving, we're going to be good. Who knows? All right, Jennifer, I have never doubted Brad Holmes. I believe in everything he does. I really do believe. I'm on, Dan. Campbell will lead us to the promised land. Yeah, I agree. There's no reason to doubt anything any of these guys have done, because the history supports that they are taking this team in the right direction. Dr. D, no, but I knew the Schaefer from Shrine. Okay. Brent, I don't know much about the Chargers. What do you think we can exploit? The secondary, run defense, or both? I think their offensive line is something we can exploit. So let's start with that. They are a pretty good passing team, but their offensive line's got some weaknesses. I'd start with the center and the guards. Tackles, aren't bad, but I do think you watch the way, and I haven't watched a ton of film on them yet, so keep this with a grain of salt. But from the little I have watched, they don't negotiate multi fronts. So what that means is you got 5 people on the offensive line. You're going to put, and a lot of teams like Ravens did it to us a ton. You're going to basically put 6 to 8 guys at the line of scrimmage and force that offensive line to have to properly negotiate who is picking up who. They struggle with that in the little I've watched. I'm anticipating the Lions are going to do something like that. They don't blitz a ton, but when they do, they overload the line and force teams to have to figure out on the fly who's picking up who. And when you catch somebody off guard, like we did with the Raiders with it, especially if they're forced into obvious passing situations, I think we could get a lot of sacks like we did against, the Raiders or some of the other teams. So we'll see what happens. But their defense is not bad by any stretch. It's not the Ravens level, or I will say this: it's not the Raiders level, but it's not bad. All right, Jennifer Sue has never come back to Detroit. I'd say chances are probably slim, but you never know. He is a businessman, and somebody makes him an offer he can't refuse, he'll be back. Wilson, I don't know why people keep bringing up Sue. The dude will not ever be will not be a Lion ever again. I would agree. Hey, Bergs, thanks for that, man. All right, might be able to get some proper hair care products going on this weekend. Thanks for that, man. I owe you. Enjoy art. You know what? I'll use it for the do and the dog, just for you, man. I will not use that on anything else. Top tier, man. It's cold as heck right now. Hey, so I love the cold weather. That's just me, man. I love it to death. My other half, she not so much. All right, Dr. Deuce, Sue will go to a team that is ready to win now, like San Francisco or Philly. Lions don't make any moves. I would agree, man. I'd say if he comes here, it's I think for a paycheck, but I think the chances are slim. I don't think this regime, unless it's forced into some moves because of injuries, are going to make a play for some of these guys. All right, James, good morning, Coach. Happy Friday. Same to you, man. Hopefully you're having a great one. All right, Manifest My Destiny. Good morning, Dan. Happy Friday to you. No questions today. Just wishing everyone a great and stressful free weekend. Yeah, same to you, Manifest. I hope you have a good one. Hope you got your rooting guide all set. And hopefully you're ready to just kick back and have some fun, man. JP, too many good linebackers is a problem the Lions have never had. That's it's been a long time, man. You probably would have to go back to the early 90s when you had like Mike Kofer and Gibson, Spielman, James. Oh gosh, what was the other guy's name? I just almost had it on the tip of my tongue. I want to say Jameson Williams, but I know that's not right. But anyways, they had some pretty good linebackers then, but it's like your point now, JP, it's been a long time. All right, Max, Lions are going, Lions are 15-4, I believe, since last year's win streak. Okay, that's something. Yes, they've done well, man, and it's hard to bet against them because they just keep going forward. I mean, I think we all get against the Raiders. We didn't play great by any stretch, at least with the turnovers, but you can play that badly, and we did not play great and still win by double digits. Yeah, you're a legit team. Max, could we beat Ravens if we played them again? Yeah, I do believe so. I think part of the problem is, you guys, we've talked about it. I think one of the downsides we do have is that our OC, DC, and head coach can be incredibly stubborn. Aaron Glenn, I get you going with a game plan. His game plan was to not allow Lamar Jackson to run on us at all. And you know what? You stop that. But when Lamar Jackson is passing all over you, you've got to make a change. You can't just say, hey, just let him keep passing. You could say some of it's because, okay, fine, Will Harris got forced in, to the starting lineup, really had it repped as the outside corner. I get it. The Jerry Jacobs, knee situation could not have been a worse setup as far as, for practice purposes throughout the week, because he pops up on the reports Saturday. You think maybe he's got a chance to play. You've got no practice opportunities to really augment anything on the fly. You bring in Will Harris, Sunday when you're saying, all right, we can't play Jacobs. So now you're forcing him in. But at the same time, you can't back somebody off 50 yards and expect him to guard anybody. You got to make adjustments. And that's where I do think Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson do struggle at times, is just, we're going to stick to the game plan. We're going to stick to the game plan, But so to your point, Max, since I just went off on a tangent, I do think they would make some changes. Doesn't mean we'd win, but I could see us being within, a touchdown of them. So we'll see what happens. Phil, is that gym in your house? Yeah, we set that up for her in the house. She needs it for what she does, and she's in her happy place when she's working out. Dr. Detroit, wait a minute, we got another Dr. Detroit. What are some of your takes on JPD? I'm going to say this. So for me, when you look at the receivers, look at Donovan Peoples-Jones. He can run block, and he is a monster run blocking. He's almost, I wouldn't say he blocks quite like a tight end, but he's not far off. He can put some people on the ground. So start with that. Now you look at his route concepts, the things he does best. The outside receiver, not somebody going over the slot. He's good at that. You look at his fly routes. his route tree going into deep post, shallow post concepts, things are going to put pressure on the second half of a defense. So to take the top off, he's great at that. I think that's where he was really underutilized this year in Cleveland. And I get some of that's because of the quarterback uncertainties they've had there. So not something he can control. But because of that, he doesn't have the numbers to probably entice a lot of people. Hold on a second, guys. All right, sorry. Talking for 40 minutes. Sometimes the throat does get dry, but so in short, I think they got an extremely good value. I know some people have speculated, hey, does that mean they don't have belief in Jamison Williams? I don't think it's that so much, but you look at a lot of the receivers, they're fairly similar. In the day, they used to call them slot receivers. So St. Brown, Khalif Raymond, Reynolds to an extent, they are similar molds. Jameson Williams, yeah, with his speed, he can take you deep. But as far as a 50-50 jump ball winner or big body red zone threat, this just gives him another piece. Because now with the Laporta, with Peoples Jones, and a couple other options, you can force the sidelines and the end line to be a little bit more needed to be defensed by the defensive coordinator, because you've got some guys that can just out jump people now on average. So, and now some of your other guys like St. Brown or whatever, a little bit more freed up across the middle, running with the routes they run typically best. And then someone like a Gibbs out of the backfield. So I think it was a very calculated move, and really for what they got him for, a great value. All right, Phil, the kid from GVSU is an athlete. He can play any place. Yeah, he fits the mold for what they like. Somebody who can be, I don't want to say a Will Harris, but who can play multiple positions. Wilson, did you see where Sweat said he wants to see what the Bears were all about before he signs an extension? Bears GM wants to sign him long term, and Sweat put the brakes on that. Yeah, I did see that, Wilson, and man, I get they traded a second round pick for Chase Claypool. He's not even there anymore. And now potentially he gave up another one, a really high value one. I guess not that the other one wasn't, but you get the point that this would be 2 straight years you've given up a significantly high second round pick, and you might not have either of those guys other than a couple game rentals. I'm not going to say that the GM's on the hot seat, but man, a couple of those, and yeah, you're not looking so good. All right, Jane Mommy, what do you got? If the Lions have a healthy team, I believe that they could beat the Ravens now that they know what they're up against. Yeah, they'd make some adjustments, and I'm with you. A lot of that game was just things snowballed, got out of hand. Some of the coordinators got exposed a little bit. I do believe they'd make some adjustments. All right, Manifest, I actually do have a question. Do you think that Dobbs will keep Minnesota somewhat competitive in the NFC North? How many wins do you think they can get? I'm going to give them about another 4, maybe 5, which means, yeah, they're staying fairly competitive with us. They've got enough pieces around, but I also think Dobbs is a completely different quarterback than Cousins. So because of that, and the difficult thing in fairness to Dobbs, okay, you just came into Arizona this year, had to learn a whole new playbook. You could see he did progress and get better. But now at this point in the year, you're asking a guy without a preseason. So he's going to come in and he's going to have to learn all your, terminologies, routes, and everything. And I want you guys to all think about this. He's probably not playing this weekend. He's probably 2 weeks out. But really, when you see something, when somebody's barreling down a 300-pound dude coming to take your head off, are you going to see it on time, or are you going to see it probably like half a second late? And a half a second in the NFL or the NBA or any other league probably means it's not going to work. You're either on time or it's going the other way. And I would say this, the first couple of weeks he's out there, there's a real high potential. He throws a ton of picks, let alone pick sixes. And if that happens, now you're killing his confidence, the team's confidence in him. You're moving on back to one of the other quarterbacks you already had. And it's just, that's where it could become a dumpster fire, in my opinion. All right, let's see. Jennifer, just wondering, do you guys still have friends out there that believe the Lions are the same old Lions, or do you think it kind of upsets you? We'll put it that way. I'll put it this way, there's going to be haters. There's haters in this chat from time to time. It's part of what it is. A lot of people just love to watch the world burn. They're not happy with their life, so they want to share the misery with somebody else. Then the other part is in regards to the Lions. Man, you've been bad for 60 years. A lot of people just want to say, hey, this is the next, Charlie and Lucy situation where at some point they're going to build up your hopes and dreams and then pull the rug out from you. I don't think it's that, but I can definitely see where some people are going to go that way with it. To your point, Jennifer. All right, General, what do you got? The Bears may have buyer's remorse. Yeah, just a little bit, man. I'd say there's a strong possibility of that. Gary, what do you got? Do you hear anything on Gilmore? Will they ever give him a try? The one thing I'll say about that is I think they've kind of already tipped the scales or their thoughts by not making a move for anybody else. They haven't signed a free agent or make a trade for anybody. Gilmore's been on the active roster for a couple straight weeks now. So that, to me at least, him and Chase Lucas are showing strong reasons why they're not leaving him exposed for somebody else to potentially take. So they're protecting him, and they're doing that for a reason. Brent, 6-2 at the bye. Life is finally good as a Lions fan. Playoff win is coming, I think. 13-4 regular season seems possible. Our suffering is over. You could be right, man. And 13-4, I think we'd all probably take that. So for sure. All right. At Jennifer Beaver, I don't have any friends. Well, I mean, hey, you are fairly new to where you live now, right? In Hawaii. So some of that I get, but hey, I still thought it was funny, man. Phil, Lions do not won anything. Lions have not won anything yet. Hey, I mean, they haven't won any titles. They've won some games for sure, and they are winning a fan base over. See, we'll see where the season goes though. Let's see. I believe that Holmes is pretty sure that some free agents will be calling after the season. Yeah, I do agree. Detroit's becoming a destination. Max Jennifer Savage exercise. Jennifer Savage fitness is hers. Blonde girl, big smile. So there you go. All right, Donkey Kong, Super Bowl or bust. I was wondering where you've been, man. We're like almost 50 minutes in and I hadn't seen you, man. You had me worried. IJ Mommy, there you go. Pipe weed. All right. Said the Lions were going to be 14-3 before the season, and I'll stand by it. We'll take it, man. I think we'd all live with that, man. Big time. JP, Phil, you are right. But does this team seem different? Question mark. They are winning, and it doesn't seem like a hot streak. It seems more like a good team winning games they should. There's a lot of truth to that, man. I mean, just because we've all been through it for years, I'm sure there's been some fans like the Raiders game when Goff throws the pick six. They probably threw something at their screen or whatever, and just this is beginning of the end. And I'm sure we all probably at some extent started feeling some anxiety, but it never happened. Even though they never really blew the game out, it also never really fell apart. But they did keep them around a little bit. General Brown, there you go. Yep. Donovan Peoples-Jones is going to feast here. Yeah, I think he's going to be super happy. At the end of the season, the fact he's here, playing basically in his home state and town, plus an offense I think is going to utilize some of his traits fairly well. He could be something here. And the only thing is whose time and reps does he take away from? It's a little bit of everybody's, or if they bring him specifically for one spot. I don't think it's an indictment on Jameson Williams, but I do think Jameson Williams is going to have to understand in order to get out on that field, he's going to have to put in some work because, I do think he's basically just a rookie, but I also say this, when you have more drops for your career than catches, that's not good for a receiver. All right, mile marker, what do you got? Me too, let's hope. All right. Wilson, I want Stafford in Detroit for a playoff game. Imagine the atmosphere. Probably won't happen though, unfortunately. So you're saying like the Rams and Stafford come here to play? Yeah, that would be bonkers. And that would be a media freak show for the week leading in. And the one thing I will say though, even though I don't think the Rams are what they used to be, I also say this, having watched Stafford throughout his career here in Detroit, he's one dude, he's a total crapshoot. He could come in and throw 20 picks against us, or he come in and throw 20 touchdowns. So you would have that wild card scenario. He could either, sink you or make you all cheer. Bergs, if season ends today, we host Vikings in the playoffs. I would take that matchup right now. Let's do it. Let's end the playoffs right now and go into the playoffs right now. Levance, what do you got? How do you think the Lions matchup versus the 49ers and Eagles? Thinking playoffs. That's a great question, man. Boy, I'm going to probably regret saying this. I actually think I like our matchup with the 49ers. I do. The Eagles, that one gets me a little bit just because some of their speed to the perimeter on offense, I think is going to be a challenge for us. Now, some of our other players evolve, then maybe Purdy to the way he throws so much of the intermediate passes, he throws them very well, but I also think we defend that fairly well. To me, my worry is the sidelines deep down the field. We get caught so often in miscommunications where things break down. You don't want to see that in the playoffs. I don't think the 49ers can expose that nearly as much as the Eagles. So that's why I think we've got a better matchup against the Eagles. Excuse me, the 49ers. All right, Jordan, what do you got? I believe in our young defense with all the young players getting reps. They're only getting better. I agree. Give them 2 years, and that defense will be monstrous. Our secondary coming around. Aiden is getting health there too. Yeah, I think really as long as they can get either this season or next offseason somebody to complement Hutchinson, then the defense, to your point, I think, yeah, they're really going to get good. Gary, what do you got? If they beat the Chargers, watch out! Exclamation point. Maybe they only lose one more game. Yeah, I mean, it is conceivably possible the Lions win out. It's also probable they won't, but we ain't going to worry about that. We're going to worry about one game at a time. All right, Phil, Swift would light us up if we played the Eagles. And that's why I'm saying, I mean, with some of their wide receivers, plus, mobile quarterback, and they've got some pretty decent running backs, they'd be able to hit us in a way the 49ers can't, at least not currently. So we'll see, but we'll worry about that in time. We just got to make sure we make the road for both of their teams as difficult as possible, or potentially they have to play each other before we face one of them, and everything at Ford Field. All right, Michael, what do you got? Donovan Peoples-Jones arguably needing a big body Titan receiver to bully. Yeah, and that's where I was kind of going with it. He's able to do something none of the other receivers are able to do. I mean, he's got some size, he's got some strength, he's got some vertical, and he is a monster in the run blocking game. So I'm with you, MJ. I think it was a good pickup. All right, about that time, guys, I'll do one or two more, and then it's off to the Circle K for me. Well, off to Jennifer, off to work. I go and really enjoy the show. See you all Monday. Yeah, remember, we're here Saturday and Sunday too if you want. If not, just go have some fun. We'll see you Monday. See you, Jennifer. Me too soon. Yeah, Scott, do you? Hopefully, you have a good one too. Enjoy. If I don't see you this weekend, have a good one, man. Did you hear that Jared Alexander said the Packers were going to win out? Hey, I would say that, Scott. Alexander's right, man. I mean, that's what you should say as an athlete. I mean, I'd be worried if an athlete came in and said, we're probably going to go 5-5. It's just you got to believe as an athlete you can hit every shot, you can make every catch, you can, hit every pitch. I mean, you got to have that mentality. And same as a coach, man. So, I mean, I get it, man. Wilson, smash that like button for Dan. Lions fans, yeah. If you guys can, hey, hit the subscribe button. Like I said, really like to try to get to 4,300 by the time we kick off against the Chargers. And if you guys hit the thumbs up button, you guys get it. It helps the channel. No? Yeah, well, I mean, it's that time, man. I'm running out of time, and I got to do work today, too. Bergs, have a great day, everyone. Same to you, man. All right. We got a couple new ones here. Jay, hello from GR. Hello to you, too, and good morning. Not worried about Purdy. Gary, not worried about Purdy. Worried about Hurt. Yeah. Need home game. I agree with you there. Pound the drums. Have a good one. Same to you. Don, Kobe Scoresdale probably keeps Jonah Jackson from getting paid here. Ooh, that's something to think about for the offseason. But again, we're going to not be able to keep everybody on that offensive line. All right, Ken, what do you got? When Goff throws an INT, I know it's time for his bounce back. he's been scoring a TD on his very next series. Yeah, it does seem, I agree with you. There does seem to be a correlation where he just dials it in a little bit more. All right, guys, it's time for me to shut it down and get going to work and all that kind of stuff. So hope you all have a great one. If some breaking news happens throughout the day, I'll try to get on and get it over to you guys as quick as possible. Otherwise, enjoy your day. Hit the subscription and thumbs up button. And we'll see you all tomorrow morning on the next Lions Talk Live. See you guys.